Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Graham Keefe here from The Great Wake Up, and on today's video we're going to discuss how to defeat the cost of living crisis and how simple it really is. But obviously they don't want you to know this. But before we dive into the video, I want you to like, share, subscribe and hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on all of our next upcoming content. So do that now and we'll get into the video. Okay, the cost of living crisis then. Obviously orchestrated, obviously engineered, but why? What's the goal? What's the agenda? Well, obviously the goal and the agenda is to destroy the economy, to crush people mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually and financially. And they're doing a great job of it because literally where I live, everything seems to virtually be doubling every single day in price. Okay, maybe that's a bit extreme, but things that used to cost £1 are now costing £2 or more. All the basics and the essentials are bleeding us dry just to get a basic shop. It's doubled from what it used to be last year. And obviously we've got the electric, the gas, all of the the utility costs and the bills on top of all that as well. I think a survey was done saying that you have to earn £50,000 in a year just to sort of be above water. And now I remember back in the day when 50,000 a year would be a top wage and you'd have a great life with that, and now you're only just sort of keeping your head above the water, so to speak. So we know it's engineered because obviously those who control the money control the world, right? Because everything involves money, and everything involves money to make the system go round. We have obviously ourselves, living men and women, not corporations, even though they've tricked us into being one, men and women, and we have literally businesses everywhere. Now we can see here, I'm sat at the garage waiting for my car to get air in the tyres, but all the business here, there's businesses everywhere. You can see Ginger Tree over there, Hollybush House there, the physios over there where the lady is with the hat on. We've got all these various businesses, rent a room. But obviously if you are in charge of the entire monetary system, then you're in charge of not only the people but the businesses as well. And obviously businesses are being affected by this cost of living crisis and this hyperinflation, this orchestrated, engineered inflation. Rachel Reeves, absolutely clueless, of course. That's why she's doing the job. That's why she fits the role so superbly. But the bottom line is, all of these businesses, right, they're suffering too, because you control the centralisation of money, you control that globally, then you control the entire world. And it's really not that complicated to understand. But all I can say about the cost of living crisis is don't stress. Please understand your power. Understand who you really are. And when you understand who you really are, then you'll know that corporations cannot do business with living men and women. Fact. Corporations are dead entities. They're soulless, lifeless, and they're just an idea in the head. I could make a corporation tomorrow, call it Graham's Donuts, whatever you want to call it. That's it, done. On a piece of paper, Graham's Donuts in all caps is the corporation, the corporate entity. Okay, so you're a man or a woman. You know, you're not a corporation because you're real, you're living, you're breathing, you exist in reality. And all the bills that your energy supplier, your gas supplier, your water supplier, your council tax, your mortgage, all of it, everything that you pay out, who is instructing you to pay that? Think about it. A corporation. Now the problem is, a corporation can't do business with a corporation, and if they do, or they try to do it in such a way where they're assuming or presuming that you are a corporation who they can attach their bullshit to, then we have a situation called criminal conversion, and it's fraud under the Fraud Act 2006. So the government give us remedy for all of this stuff. You just have to know, to not be so arrogant to check, to not ridicule people who have checked. Go and do your own research and check for yourself. Your legal name is a straw man, which is an ens legis. In legal terms, it's an ens legis. It's a creature of the law, right? Now, all corporations are talking to is that creature of the law. And you can prove this yourself. Get your birth certificate out right now. Look at the bottom line. Warning, this certificate is not evidence of identity. So they've got to tell you that the legal name that you thought you were is nothing more than a corporation. And then they deceive you into contracting or believing you're that name in order to operate in this commercial world. That's it. That is the raw simplicity of everything in this system, whether it be operating and working with businesses, spending money at Starbucks, going to the police station, going to court, getting letters from solicitors, any letter from any corporation is addressing the legal fiction. So how does the legal fiction get us out of the cost of living crisis? Well, it's very simple. You just tell them, say, look, I am happy to pay this bill for whatever it is. I'm happy to settle the account, however you want to say it. But please provide me with the material evidence that I am the legal name and your legal name, because you keep sending me letters to this name and my birth certificate states that this is not evidence of my identity. Should we maybe be discussing a fraudulent situation? Please clarify. Happy to pay without willful refusal, without culpable neglect. Sign it, send it off, preferably to the CEO, and then keep a copy for yourself. You've then got a record that you've said that you're happy to pay, conditionally accept to pay, but you just need to clarify that they're writing to the correct individual, because we know that they're not. Okay, and that's it. So electric, gas, non-existent. Council tax, if you paid it, again, same process, and then go to your bank, direct debit reclaim on council tax for the same reason, because they're a corporation, they can't do business with a living man or woman. You've just got to understand what's going on in order to understand how to relieve yourself of all the stress. You are literally just a barcode, just a slave, Neo. That's all you are. And as soon as you accept that, the freedom that comes with it is next level, because you know that you're not a slave. You know that the ens legis, or the legal name, is the slave. Okay, we can't really do much about it going into like shops and supermarkets and things like that, but all the money you'll be saving on your bills, in inverted commas, will be more than adequate to subsidise that. So really, it's just knowing who you are, knowing what the situation is, knowing that you've been lied to your entire life from the day you were born into a criminally converted contract which you didn't accept, didn't ask for, and had no part in creating. And then you were coerced, manipulated to, and lied that was your name, which you can prove it isn't on your birth certificate, and that is checkmate. And that's how you get out of the cost of living crisis. So don't worry. Numbers on a screen, it's all made up anyway. It's all nonsense. Money has no value. Money is backed by nothing. And money is a promissory note. It's called a promise to pay. And a promise to pay is an IOU. And an IOU means there is nothing of substance with which to pay immediately. So there is no money with which to pay anything. And it's quite weird, because if you look at it, they've got all this money to house migrants. They've got all this money to do blah, blah, blah. But they ain't got money to help pensioners heat their homes. They ain't got money to help the homeless or the war veterans in this country to find a roof over their head. They ain't got anything like that. But in reality, they could do it like that, in the blink of an eye, in the flick of a switch, in a heartbeat. You've got to understand what's going on here. And this is complete and utter fraud from the top down, from the day you were born. So the cost of living crisis is engineered, orchestrated, designed and made to happen. Because what they want to do is they've got to crush the economy. They've got to crush the economy, cause a situation where everyone's struggling, so that people beg for the help, and then the help they'll give you will be a universal basic income. So you won't need to work for nothing anymore, because you'll get it given to you for nothing. But the bottom line is, do you want that? Do you want a universal basic income, or do you want some kind of freedom? If you want some kind of freedom, then yeah, go out to work. But then you've got to understand that this is all orchestrated, and what comes in your bank will go out your bank by the end of the month. And that's slavery. You're working for nothing. Does that not make you a slave? Of course it does. But you're not the slave. The ens legis, or the legal name, is the slave. And that's the one who you need to separate yourself from, because you're not that. And that is how you end the cost of living crisis, right there in a nutshell. Simple as that. 10 minutes, job done. So if you want any support and assistance with this, check the description and you'll see a link to my website where I've got an 8-week course online which walks you through all of this stuff to get you in a position to know who you are, to get it down documented, and then to apply your power in checkmating the whole system by knowing your real identity, by knowing your real name, and by knowing that no corporation, whether it be McDonald's, whether it be HM Government, it's a corporation. They have no jurisdiction over a living man or a living woman. So if you want to learn this inside out, then hit the link in the description and you can pop your email in on my website and just watch a quick video which explains the process and shows you how they've lied to you so that you can see it for yourself, and then you can go, right, shit, I understand, and then you can move forward. If you want to work with me, you're more than welcome, and you can come into the course if you want to, and get all this stuff nailed down and free yourself, because you've always been free. It's only your mind that they've imprisoned, which is why they're called government. Govern from the root word control, or to control, or manage, or whatever, and then meant from the word Latin, mind. Control the mind. That's what government's job is, and Parliament's job is to lie to you. Parle from the root word parler in French, to speak. Lia from the root word liar. MENC, same Latin, mind. Speak lies to the mind. So Parliament speak lies to your mind, and government and Parliament are run by government. So the whole thing is a lie and a trick and a deceit to get you where we are today. And it's time we took our power back, isn't it? So check out the link in the description if you want to. I'll pop a little thing on screen now to go to the next video if you want to watch one of those. But that is how you end the cost of living crisis in 10 minutes. Well, 12, but we'll call it 10. Thanks for watching. Like, share, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.